Here's a list of 20 Nigerian celebrities who made millions but suddenly lost it all in a twinkle of an eye. How most of these stars became poor will shock you. Femi Opabumi. Femi Opabumi was an outstanding player who was first spotted playing for Nigeria, making his debut in 2002 against Kenya, scoring the second goal in a 3-0 win. The football player performed beyond Nigerians' imagination during the 2001 Under-17 World Championship, delivering an impressive hat-trick against Australia, a football skill phrase which is used when a footballer scores 3 goals in a single game. Femi also won himself the bronze ball for being the third best player throughout the tournament, as well as a silver shoe for being the highest goal scorer in the same tournament. During Opabumi's prime, in the early 2000s, he played for some renowned clubs in Europe like the Grasshoppers Zurich of Switzerland, the Carmoy Neothars of France, and Nigeria's very own Shooting Stars FC. Featuring in for the Super Eagles at the 2002 FIFA World Cup, becoming the third youngest player to ever play in the World Cup finals, alongside others, at the tender age of 17. Aside from being one of the best in his time, as well as one of the wealthiest, Femi was also a large-hearted and generous person. Countlessly, he would engage in charity work, donating money, even up to cars to some people. However, something tragic happened to this player while he was still in his early 20s. Opabumi, who was playing in the second division in France, suddenly realized that he couldn't see anything in the middle of the match. Later on, he went for a consultation and met an ophthalmologist and discovered that he had developed a severe eye condition found to be glaucoma. As days began to proceed, the super player was no longer able to see in his right eye. Just like every other normal human being would do, Opabumi began a quest to regain his sight, which eventually led him to visiting various hospitals in Europe, but strangely, none of these specialist hospitals were able to prefer a lasting solution to his health condition. Knowing that 20/20 vision was a necessity for any football player, he refused to settle for less and sought a more permanent solution. Spending millions and millions of naira down to his last coin, the footballer spoke to every professional and searched for any glimpse of hope, but it became too late and he had lost everything. His promising football career, his eyesight in his right eye, and he had gone completely broke and couldn't even afford a flight back to Nigeria. Luckily, his former teammate, Osazie Odinwengi, came to his rescue and bought a flight ticket back to Nigeria for him. Ever since his return, the player, who had no choice but to accept his fate, retired sadly at the age of 21, permanently blind in one eye, and has been surviving on the generosity of his friends and family. Today, he is the head coach of a football academy in Iwo, Osun State. Number 19, Mehdi. Nigerian popular singer, Mr. Mehdi, like he usually calls himself, formerly signed to Square Records, owned by the then P-Square duo, did justice to music a couple of years ago. Famous for dropping amazing hits and club bangers like Cool Temper, Ile Ijo, So Many Things, and Gami High, and the rest, which must have undoubtedly made us think the singer was swimming in loads of cash, but unfortunately, that was not the case, as the crooner suddenly hit rock bottom. Rumors of him begging for money online were heard, and he was then seen dragged online by a waitress who claimed that he had visited the hotel where she worked and had ordered food and snacks, but left without paying. At first, fans believed it was a made-up story, but the singer responded, admitting that it was a fact, apologizing that he would pay at the end of the month the total sum of 11,000 for the meal. This made his fans question, what exactly happened to Mehdi? Before then, it was revealed that Mehdi wasn't making any money from his songs he had released, owing it to the Square Brothers. He also explained that he had no personal bank account where he was given the proceedings of his hit songs. He also claimed that he was maltreated by the brothers, including the elder brother of the two, Jude Okoye, and was forced to live in the Okoye's boys' quarters, cooking and cleaning for them while sleeping on cartons. When Jude Okoye was interviewed, he denied everything and said that Mehdi was greedy and wanted to buy mansions and cars like P-Square, and it was right that they came to the end of their journey together. After Mehdi left the label, nothing was heard from him again, but presently, he seems to be coming back on his feet as he's now signed to DMW Record by super mega musician Davido, whose slang we rise by lifting others is visibly seen. Number 18, Wilson Uruma. Another prominent Nigerian footballer who fell from grace is Wilson Uruma. Uruma, at the course of his career, was opportune to play for notable foreign clubs like RC Lens, Marseille, Servette, AO Kavala, and many others, playing in a total of 19 times in international matches and assisting Nigeria to win the gold medal at the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. The billionaire, who was also a dedicated religious man, started an evangelical mission, distributed free gospel books to people during his outreach programs, and gave thousands of donations to families. Sadly, the player, who had made a fortune from his career and was close to retirement age, suddenly went broke and was spotted in a terrible health condition. He was said to have sunken into a fit of madness, which made his family and friends rush him to the hospital. It was later gathered that the player had developed an emotional mental disorder after falling into the hands of some fraudsters who dealt him the sum of 1.2 billion naira. It was reported that after returning back to Nigeria and proceeding his retirement plan at the alleged age of 34, he decided to make a good investment with the fortune he had acquired while playing football to further support his family. Sadly, he fell into the hands of a Lagos-based pastor and some fraudulent oil businessmen who promised to get him double of his investment within a short period of time. The player, out of trust and his religious beliefs, then decided to get involved in the said business, indulging, and made a deposit of 1.2 billion naira. Soon enough, Days turned to weeks and then into months, without hearing from the said pastors and the others. Uruma put 1 and 2 together, connected the dots, and painfully realized what had happened. Driven by his anger, confusion, and fear, the reality that he had been left without a single penny left the footballer traumatized, and he became mentally unstable. However, the footballer has been seen making recovery and is now trying his best to move on with his life. Number 17, Cynthia Morgan. Cynthia Morgan, now known as Madrina, is a Nigerian singer, actress, songwriter, and dancer whose music stirred up chaos in the Nigerian music industry. Her fusion for music genres like hip-hop, dancehall, rap, and pop allowed the vocalist to make a name for herself, especially because she was one top female to be releasing such mad beats at the moment. Her hit singles like Lead Me On and Don't Break My Heart, which received massive applause and positive reviews, was what shot her to limelight, making her a nationwide sensation. She won many awards like the Best New Artist Award, Female Award of the Year, Best Reggae Single, Music Artist of the Year, and so many more. During her acting days, she made her debut in 2016 in the Nollywood movie The Wrong Number, and then featured in AY's comedy movie titled A Trip to Jamaica, where she interpreted her character just perfectly. Cynthia, who visibly was seen in most of her videos to be a lover of expensive cars, owns a Range Rover SUV, which was stolen from her at a moment but later recovered. She's also a dedicated charitable individual known for her Empowerment Foundation scheme, tagged Mama Cynthia, feeding the hungry and clothing the needy. After a while, fans noticed that the singer had been absent from the TV screen and out of the spotlight for some time. Questions and rumors began to spread as Nigerians tried to find out the mysterious disappearance of the singer. After some long months, Morgan broke her silence regarding what was truly transpiring behind the scenes. She explained that there was a conflict between herself and Judo Koye again, who happened to be the boss in the record label where she was signed, initially called Northside Record. The dancehall queen took to social media in a live video where she called out Judo Koye and further recounted all the challenges and difficulties she faced after signing the contract with the label. She disregarded every accusation the former boss made against her, claiming that she was owing him money and never made his record label a dime while she was under. She claimed that instead, she was the one not getting paid by the record label and she was forced to eat noodles every single day while everyone thought she was a millionaire. She stated how she lost her Vivo account, her Instagram account, and most painfully, her stage name, which she was compelled to change to Madrina. The singer during the IG Live further explained how the whole fallout between herself and Judo Koye almost left her in depression and contemplating suicide as she had nothing else to fall back, thus relocating to Benin so as to get a pocket-friendly treatment for an ailment which almost took her life. However, Cynthia Morgan did not disclose the nature of the ailment during the live session. Early 2018, she was seen dropping a new song as Madrina, but since then, the female star has remained out of the spotlight. Number 16, Solid Star. Joshua Iniezu is a Nigerian singer and songwriter who began his career as a drummer in one of the local churches located in Delta State where he hails from, and is known by his stage name, Solid Star. The singer, who was born on 8th of November 1988, made it to limelight after the release of his hit track, One in a Million, in which he featured the legendary Tu Baba in the remix. Solid Star thereafter released a couple more tracks, which includes Olichi, alongside Nigerian singer Flavor, Wait, featuring DMW boss Davido, and many others. The artist soon became a national sensation and a big name, as he could be found touring cities and states in various countries for large shows, earning his pay in big bucks. The singer, who was enjoying the best of life, was rumored to have acquired over 30 million worth of land and property, and was known online for showcasing his brand new 7 million naira 2013 Infiniti JX35 SUV and an Infiniti QX60. All of a sudden, things went sideways for the musician just when he was at the peak of his career, and he took some time from the public eye. A couple of years later, Solid Star was speculatively spotted in the streets of Lagos roaming around in a singlet and track pants, seemingly like he was mentally deranged. After a thorough investigation was carried out, it was confirmed to be true, unveiling that he had taken to hard drugs and spent all his life savings satisfying his addiction to a certain substance he called ice. He used to help him cope with the depression that had come over him following the decline of his music career. Solid Star shared that at first, he thought he could control his impulses, but then he could be at a restaurant and after ordering some food and eating, a voice inside him would tell him not to pay for the food. His brother by name Joseph, who thought it was necessary to let his fans and the world know his current situation, took to social media to plead with Nigerians for financial support, explaining all that had happened to the singer. After generous Nigerians and fans contributed to the recovery of Solid Star, he was taken to rehab. Thankfully, the musician is back on his feet, but is struggling to make a comeback to the music industry. Mr. Ibu. John Okafor, popularly known as Mr. Ibu, was a seasoned veteran Nollywood actor who would always be remembered for his funny roles, which made the childhood of many and brought entertainment to young Nigerians with humorous and memorable content. The boxer, karate practitioner, and football coach was a very much highly sought-after actor. His movies like Mr. Ibu, Storekeeper, Husband Suppliers, and numerous more were also in demand as he was acting in over 200 films. During Mr. Ibu's heydays, he was able to achieve so much for himself. He won his first international award in 2005. He also took home several awards like the Best Comic Character at the 2012 AMVCAs, the Best Actor in a Lead Role at the Africa Magic Academy Awards. In 2014, he owned shares in some hotels and retail stores as a hardworking businessman. Also functioning as a philanthropist, he was known to give back to society, supporting orphanages, organizing charity events, and sending out donations. He owned a BMW X6, a Mercedes-Benz C-Class 2015, a Lexus LX 570, a Mercedes-Benz GLE, and had a net worth estimated at $4.5 million. Sometime in his 50s, the actor suddenly began feeling ill and was diagnosed with diabetes. He was still battling with this disease for several years, being in and out of the hospital when it was revealed in 2023 that he needed an amputation due to an infection of the arteries at his ankle. He needed to undergo some treatment so his leg could be salvaged. However, when this went into the eyes of the public, several fans donated large amounts to assist their beloved actor, but sadly it was too late. He had the amputation done, but he was happy to be alive. But even after that, his health condition kept deteriorating and left him on the hospital bed for several months. The actor underwent 5 different surgeries just to save his life, and this cost him almost everything, his entire savings notwithstanding, and that was how he slowly drifted into debt. He suffered a cardiac arrest and passed away at the age of 62 on the 2nd of March 2024. Number 14, Blackface. The well-known reggae singer, songwriter and star, best known as the co-writer of Two Baba's African Queen, and was one of the founder of the Plantation Boys, the brand which was very popular at the time, going for tours and travels around the world. They gained popularity and fame as well as money. The formidable team were said to have split up, claiming it was due to the exit of Two-Face, who wanted to pursue his own musical career. Blackface then started music solo, this time after the splitting of the band group. That was what marked the downfall of Blackface, as he tried as a solo artist, just like the other two, but couldn't. He was struggling with his musical career, which never really yielded any good results, like when they had worked before together as a group. This eventually led to him getting broke, as the money wasn't coming like it used to. Two-Face and FaZe, his other ex-members of his band, went out there and made even more fortune in their own musical career. Two-Face is now one of the most recognized legendary African musicians till date. Blackface since then has been in one courtroom or the other, suing Two-Face for allegedly stealing some of his songs, which made him big today. But after a series of investigations without substantial proof, the case was dissolved and Two-Face was proved innocent. Two-Face in turn then sued Blackface Naija for defamation of character and reputation, an amount Blackface would probably struggle to pay. Number 13, Baba Frayo. Baba Frayo was born as Friday Igwe and was one of the top artists and most regarded in the 90s, and dropped several albums with top artists in the industry. He was known for his iconic eye patch, which gained him a nationwide recognition. Popular for his songs, Dem Go Pose, Galala, and most of his songs, usually written in Pidgin, the veteran singer recently fell to the background with lesser fans and came online begging Nigerians to financially support him in order for him to undergo his surgery, and further stated that he had gone completely broke following the same ailments which made him spend all his life savings. He even went ahead to sell most of his properties so he could afford medication. He lamented further that he regretted marrying his wife, who is also in the showbiz, and that if he had married someone else, his career would have been probably well managed. Although he made a recent comeback about 2 years ago with the follow-up of his hit song, They Go Dey Pose. Number 12, Ifeanyi Udi. Ifeanyi Udi was an amazing left-back and a key team player at the Super Eagles of Nigeria within the year 2000 and 2004. Ifeanyi was among the players whose outstanding performances and talent took them overseas to play for some renowned foreign clubs like AEK Athens, West Brom, and several others. Ifeanyi was making waves in the sports community as one of the most sought-after players in Nigeria. Unfortunately, things went sideways for the player, as he was said to have run into serious debt after squandering his life savings on gambling and an extravagant lifestyle of clubbing and hanging around different women who were out to wreck him. After not being able to secure any reasonable source of income while in the UK and not playing for any club which would have generated some money for him, the player later had to come back to his father's land empty-handed. To worsen the situation, after he came back to Nigeria, his addictions and habits snuck back into his life, and he was spotted in the streets of Ajegunle in Lagos, still gambling, drinking at a small spot, a locally manufactured gin called Ogogoro. However, he's now rehabilitated and now works as a radio host for one of Nigeria's biggest sports radio station in Abuja called Brila FM. Number 11, Taribo West. Taribo West is unarguably one of the most successful Nigerian defender in football history, as he was regarded as one of the best in Europe even during his prime. In the course of Taribo's career, he played for Inter Milan, AC Milan, and served as one of the key players in Nigeria's dream team that came back victorious after winning the 1996 Olympics. After amassing so much wealth during his heydays, it was gathered that Taribo West, who retired, came back to Nigeria and suddenly had gone bankrupt, following bad investments and a bad marriage like the ex-super player himself attested to. Although he's now set to be called to a different line of career, he's now a general overseer of a church in the neighborhoods of Lagos. Number 10, Celestine Babayaro. Celestine is an ex-Super Eagle player who plays as an excellent left back and most of the time as a midfielder. The amazing player with great skill spent a reasonable period during his career playing in the Premier League and later on playing for Newcastle, and also represented the Nigerian team in major appearances from the year 1995 to 2004. Babayaro was among 3 Nigerian team squads to appear in the African Cup of Nations with 2 Olympic appearances and 2 other World Cup appearances, which made him a very prominent and outstanding player who had the nation's interest at heart. However, the player was said to have been charged to court by numerous people as he was said to be owing them. He was also said to be living a luxurious lifestyle without any form of savings for rainy days. Things went from bad to worse when the player publicly declared himself bankrupt following his appearances in several court cases. Number 9, Idris Karim. Idris is a Nigerian singer, songwriter, rapper, and a strong force in the Nigerian music industry. A couple of years ago, following his strong and impactful lyrics directed at tackling social issues, the Nigerian government, and political corruption. The singer was initially with a famous group in the late 90s and the early 2000s called The Remedies, but later on they parted ways and he continued with his solo career, which eventually paid off after he released hit songs like Mr. Lecturer, Oko Ashewo, and Jaga Jaga, which gained him widespread recognition and multiple awards at the time. Sadly, it was gathered that the singer, after being knocked out of the market by the younger generation some time ago, fell into serious financial deep waters as he had to come out to the public and beg for financial support to assist the health challenge which demanded a surgical operation. Following the surgery, which almost took his life, he was again donated some money to and has now recovered well. Number 8, Stereo Man. Sunday Osakuni is a popular Nigerian musician who hails from Delta State and is known by his stage name, Stereo Man. He made it to limelight in the 2000s and gathered so much fame, especially after the release of his hit single, Ide Pay Me, which became a street anthem in the Nigerian society, becoming a money well for the singer, which was continually generating him some good income. Unfortunately, while the singer was at the peak of his career, around 2012, he was accused of murder of one Rekia Idris, who happened to be the mother of his only child. Stereo Man, being the prime suspect because he wasn't in good terms with the deceased and had parted ways, was then arrested and detained just after a shallow investigation. He was immediately charged to court, and since he had little or no defense to prove his innocence, he was sent to jail where he spent a reasonable time and virtually lost all he had worked for. All his credibility in the industry and his brand ambassadorial deals were suddenly put on hold and some withdrawn. Although several years later, Stereo Man was released after more proof of his innocence surfaced, and the singer can now be seen struggling to rise again in the music industry. Number 7, Mohammed Yusuf. Mohammed Yusuf was a former Super Eagles defender who happened to be one of the most sought-after players in his prime. He went further to play for some notable foreign clubs in Europe and Asia. The player later moved to a Sudanese club called Al Hilal, which after a couple of years, he tried switching sides to another prominent team called FC Sion. Later on, it came to light that the player was said to have developed serious mental issues while he was in rehab. Some have allegedly claimed that he's now a beggar and was spotted on the streets of Kano posing as an Almajiri. Number 6, Olumentain. Olumentain is one Nigerian musician who made mid-2000s memorable, especially because of the release of his evergreen song like Yahuze and other songs. Apparently, the singer did not make as much money from the hit song Yahuze as we must have all thought, as he could no longer at some point meet up with his financial obligations. It was alleged that the singer lived in a rented apartment in Ikeji, Lagos, and was said to have been thrown out in 2018 for his long overdue unpaid rent. The exact reason for the Yahuze crooner's sudden brokenness was never ascertained, but the only speculation was that the song didn't pay off as much as they should have, as he was never seen releasing another hit song after Yahuze. It was also gathered that Olumentain, for reasons best known to himself, cut ties with some key individuals who were very instrumental to his career success. Number 5, Ernest Asuzu.
I mean, how is he supposed to be cool with all this trouble that's surrounding him? I know what this guy go through before he can buy a hand. I'm telling you.
Ernest was a Nollywood actor and musician who was popularly known by the name El Cream. He began his acting career in the 90s and rose to prominence after he starred in Nollywood classics in 1997. The actor, however, went further to star in several other movies, from which he won a couple of awards and gained several recognition and was paid in thousands of naira for his significant roles. It was later gathered that the actor had battled with an ailment which left him on the sickbed for quite a long time, eventually leading to a stroke. The actor, who could no longer go about his usual business and had loads of hospital bills piling up in debts, was then rumored to have been abandoned by the Actors Guild of Nigeria. Things went bad for the actor up to the point that even in his critical condition, he paid Prophet Jeremiah the visit, and when he was prayed for, he was also given financial support to help aid his surgery and an SUV car. But sadly, despite these efforts, Ernest Asuzu couldn't make it and then passed away at the age of 37 in the year 2021. Number 4, Uche Oduputa.
Come on, what did I do? What is it?
Where are you? Stand right here. So you are the street
Uche Oduputa is a veteran Nollywood actor, movie producer, and director who graced our screens in the early 2000s and has contributed immensely to the growth of the Nigerian movie industry in the past years. The actor, at the course of his career, starred in several Nollywood movies and won a couple of awards following his peculiar acting skills, as well as generated a lot of revenue. But sadly, things changed for the actor, who could no longer get any substantial movie roles to act, and slowly his fortune went to a misfortune, to the point that he could barely feed his family or house them. Things went so bad that he had to sell most of his properties and also had to maintain a low standard of living. Things became even tougher, leaving the actor to become more vulnerable as he fell to the schemes of some of his friends who were in London, who lured him into drug peddling. It was gathered that the actor was caught online, and during his first trial, he was served a jail term of over 2 years. After his release from prison, the actor narrated his ordeal and promised to never indulge in such acts again, and also apologized to his fans and family members who must have felt disappointed in him. Number 3, Essim. Essim was a great Nigerian footballer who had amazing dribbling skills and also an excellent performance on the pitch. He played for Nigerian national team in the 80s before the era of JJ Okocha, and due to his outstanding performance, he was dubbed the African Maradona. The player, who had a very important role at the Nigerian national team at the time and made a recognizable presence that seemed that if he was not in the football pitch, every activity suddenly came to a halt. The player, who was doing really well for himself and was at the peak of his career, was said to have later come to a downfall following his hot-headedness. He was accused of raping and impregnating a foreign girl. This accusation dragged his career and reputation into the muds, and even his talent couldn't save him. Eventually, he escaped back to Nigeria and was later vindicated of the said crime, but it was too late to come back to the sports industry, and soon he ran into debt. Number 2, Efe. Michael Efe is a reality TV star and the winner of Big Brother Nigeria 2017 edition. Known for his catchphrase based on logistics, the young celebrity who won the reality TV series proudly went home with a sum of 25 million naira and an amazing SUV. After leaving the Big Brother house, the star headed off to face reality in the outside world and was even appointed as the ambassador for the Italian varsity. However, he settled for starting up his own music career, releasing songs like Worry, Based on Logistics, Agege, I Love You, and some more. He has been struggling to make a mark in the music industry. Numerous fans have been questioning what exactly happened to the Big Brother star, and was rumored to have engaged in some unprofiting investments and was now broke. And finally, number 1, Marvelous Benji. Marvelous Benji is another top Nigerian celebrity, singer and producer who made a significant impact in the Nigerian music industry. The reggae and dancehall crooner made his way back in the early 2000s, releasing numerous memorable songs like Swole, Market, Dem No Like Us, It's a Party, and countless more. He became popular after the release of his hit track, Galala New Dance. The singer, who was known to have signed to one of the biggest record labels at the moment, which was Kennis Music, made money from his songs as they were sold everywhere until they eventually reached every hood and corner in Nigeria. The singer, who acquired a lot from his music evolution and growth, was able to own a few hotels, a couple successful beer spots, and a nice house in Lagos. Later on, the star married his European-based Polish lover in Yenogoa, and since then, all walls came crumbling down. Reports show that the crooner, who came to crossroads financially, was later seen selling off furniture from his beer spots, even up to bottles, chairs, plates, cups, and other items at very cheap prices just to rent an apartment back at his hometown. May we never see a better yesterday. If you're affirmed to that, type amen in the comment section and I'll see you in the next video.
I had the best promotion, I had the best moment in my career, like my music was like everywhere. It was like maybe opening shows for maybe like the likes of Two-Face then.